Hello, 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 and welcome to my live. I am very excited to share this upgraded version of the first transmission, Disempowered to Empowered. I feel like just doing this upgraded version just shows a little bit of the energetics of like, oh, okay, how of being empowered with something that I wasn't satisfied with. Like after I was done with that transmission, I was like, that didn't feel right. And immediately, because I'm creating a new embodiment for myself, it was just a natural response to be like, I can do better. And it was an I can do better from a place of neutrality, observation, and pride in myself, knowing that I know I can do better. So it wasn't a disempowered thought process from how I would have done last year. Let's even say that last year for sure. And felt like a complete loser or not a good enough coach, or start thinking about all these things of why I suck because of that first transmission. That would have been disempowered thoughts. But because I've been doing the embodiment work, I'm going to be sharing the things that takes you from a disempowered place to an empowered place. I was already embodying the woman that I want to be this year. So it was just like a natural way of like, I can do better. So here we are today on this live, and I'm very excited. So when you hop on, please say hello. If you're watching the replay, please say hi. I would love to say hi back. And I would love to make this a conversation. So go ahead and ask questions, post any comments, whether you're watching live or on the replay. And I just want to connect with you. I want to share with you. This live is I just feel it already coming from my heart. I feel my heart chakra just like expanding, because this was a little initiation for me. And I love the fact that I can bring that energy to you. And so you can see the difference, because I truly believe that this live is going to be 20 times better than the other one. The other one felt very past Jessica version. I was like, this Jessica of 2023 can do way better. Okay. So this transmission, Disempowered to Empowered Woman. 3 steps to breaking disempowered cycles and becoming the embodiment of a woman who can hold personal power and creates the life that she wants, creates the life that she desires, creates the relationship she desires. An empowered woman can do that. A disempowered woman cannot do that. As a matter of fact, what she is manifesting is a bunch of disempowered shit. And that's the truth. A relationship that she feels disempowered in, a career that she feels disempowered with, financial situations that she feels disempowered with, a body that she feels disempowered with, friends, circumstances, situations, that there's a disempowered feeling. There's a disempowered energetics, because that is the underlying feeling that you feel, and that's what you're going to manifest. It's just the way it is. Like attracts like. There's no way around that. An empowered woman has self-leadership. An empowered woman says, I want to co-create this with the universe, with God, with source, whatever. I'm co-creating it with me and something else, but I have the power. I have the power to create the relationship that I desire. I have the power to create the type of career and the wealth that I desire. I have the personal power to change how I feel around certain people. When I'm around them, I become small, and you know what? I'm ready to change that. I have the power to change that. So I'm no longer feel inferior, insignificant, less than, like I don't belong or not enough around certain people in my relationships, in my career, in my relationship career, with my body. Hi, Thea. That's an empowered woman. An empowered woman creates the life that she desires. And it's not And I want to get something very clear. Power does not mean control. It does not mean I'm controlling life to turn out the way I want. It means I'm going to hold a certain level of standards within myself. That's masculine and feminine energy, right? Because I can be in my feminine and hold power. And that really comes from your heart. That comes from a confidence within yourself. That comes from also gentleness. Then the masculine steps in to take direction and take control in terms of focus, not in terms of control of micromanaging every single little thing and trying to control people to your needs. That's not power. As a matter of fact, control is what we do when you feel disempowered. So I'm not talking about control. Control is a very insecure trait. Control is also a way to kind of take out any frustrations that you feel about yourself and try to make other people do certain things because then you feel better about you. That's control. So we're not talking about that. That's not power. Power is a radiance. Power is a frequency. Power is a way that you present yourself with confidence, not arrogance, confidence and self-trust. That's an empowered woman. And from there, you can create the relationships and life that you desire. An empowered woman commands love, respect, commands her own self-leadership, commands herself to take leadership in her life from a place of love and from a place of, I can hold the uncomfortable feelings and I will be okay with this uncomfortableness and moves with that. That's an empowered woman. So there is something that I want to share with you, which as soon as I hopped off the previous live, I was like, I should have really opened up with this. Let me just reread it to make sure I remember what I said. I have some notes. Also, I was going to go live at 5, but my mother called me and she's like, hey, my friend canceled with this for my dinner plans. Her dinner plans are, sorry, someone just called. Let me do as soon as I saw that. It's a mystery murder dinner. Basically, that means that it's a dinner and then there's like a murder that happens and you're trying to solve it. So I don't know. I thought it was really cool. And she called me. She's like, hey, my friend is sick and would you like to come? And I took a second and I was like, well, I have this live that I said I was going to do at 5. And like, what time do we have to leave? She's like 5:30. I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm going to go live now because I was already writing down the notes of what I was going to say. So I was like, you know what? The energy is already in me right now. I'm just going to go live and I can get this done and then I can go to those dinner plans with my mother. So that's why I'm going live earlier than what I initially wanted. So, okay. So this is what, as soon as I hopped off in the empowered version of myself, I was like, this is what I know I could have led with and what I know would have made into a better transmission and what I could have led with that and created a better flow. The previous one didn't flow as well as I wanted to. And that's okay. We learn, we adapt, and we move forward from an empowered place. Okay. All right. Okay. One of the most life-changing experiences that I've had. I'm going to share with you what I'm going to say, and then I'm going to bring it, you're going to see how it connects with the steps. One of the most powerful and life-changing experiences that I've had in my life is when I learned that we inherit our parents' shadow frequencies. It's kind of just like, here, these are your parents. These are certain things that come with that. Have fun. We have some great qualities, right, that we love from our parents, that we feel like, yeah, my father taught me this and my mother taught me that. And I've embodied these frequencies, these light frequencies that I really love about them. And I carry this in the world. And I've also inherited the shadow frequencies, the parts that we say, I will never be like that. I will never be like my father in that way. I will never be like my mother in that way. And this also applies to any kind of caregivers that played prominent roles in your childhood. This was so life-changing for me because it really revealed to me how much we carry from the time that we are born to all the time until you come to this realization. And the realization that you have the power to change that. Because what tends to happen? We tend to tell stories, right, about why we are where we are. Like the victim stories. Like, yeah, well, when I was 6 years old, my mother, got deported to Colombia, and I developed abandonment wounds. So in relationships, I become very anxious, attached, and oh my God, when they feel like they're going to leave, I just attach onto that relationship so strong. And, that's why in my career as a personal trainer, why it's so scary when every single time, like, I want to know if I'm good enough, because I felt not good enough my entire life as a gymnast. I was a gymnast, and it was 9 or 10. You had to get a 9 or a 10, then you would be good enough. If not, then you weren't perfect. And I feel like I always have to perform. And if someone doesn't sign with me, it means that I'm not good enough. And because I've been based my whole life as a gymnast and really hard and really intense, I need to have like the perfect body. So I've engraved these certain thoughts and processes in my life, and my father was like this and my mother was like that. That's why I'm so hard on myself. And that's why I just feel like relationships are so hard, because I didn't see a really good, stable relationships in my life. Like my mom and my stepfather had a really explosive high and low relationship. Well, yeah, of course I'm going to have the same relationship like that. That's just the way my life is. And life has been so hard for me. I've had binge eating disorder, like I was promiscuous and and like seeing all these stories from childhood. We carry these on our shoulder as if that is the definite, that's a line draw in the sand of, this is me. And these are the reasons why I am who I am. And because of that, I don't know if I can get that. That's why life is just so hard. This is why I haven't accomplished a healthy relationship. I didn't have good examples. This is why, I'm just in a constant state of up and down with my body, because I didn't have examples of that with parents, or, because I just have so much anger towards my parents or towards the past or towards certain traumas and things, that this is why I am the way that I am. And like, it's just infuriating. Disempowered. It's like, have you realized that we are grown adults, and we are no longer that little girl that was in that house with those certain circumstances, and that is a part of your story, but it's not your forever story. It's a part of your life that you now have the power to change. And people fucking change. If you're watching this live, I know you know that. I know you want to change, because you're here. And whatever thoughts you have in your mind that think, I don't know if I can change this, I don't know if I can change that, I don't know how there's a solution to this, I don't know how to get out of that, that's okay. Because the embodied version that you want to be knows. And I'm going to walk you through some steps. So, in a moment. Okay. So no matter how much trauma you've had in your life, no matter how much programming that you've had, you are now a grown adult with a conscious mind that you can consciously create new ways of being. So before we come to this awareness, or before we come to this life altering, oh my God, like I don't have to carry these shadows, and like, holy shit, when you realize that, damn, I have certain traits that exactly like my parents. This is what happens when you're walking with unconscious, which is usually, it's happening from the moment you're born. Like you're when you're a kid, you are a sponge. You're in the, I believe it's the theta waves, where it's almost like you're in a hypnosis and you are soaking everything in. Even if your parents didn't necessarily program things, like say things to you to like program your mind, and I know our parents didn't really have bad intentions. They just give us, from the level of consciousness that they know, with the level of emotional intelligence that they have learned up to that point. But it's not just that, it's also how they carry themselves, how they interact with each other, how they interact with other people, how they interacted if they're divorced parents with their significant others, how they showed up at work, what were certain things that played out in their life when it came to money, when it came to career, when it came to their family dynamics, when it came to how they interacted with you. These are all things that you soaked in like a sponge, let me tell you. Like a sponge. And what happens is that you will just walk around expressing these shadows, and that can be the leading force in your life. No matter how dark your world feels right now, whether it feels kind of dark, whether it feels really dark, a lot of that are the shadows that were inherited to you from your parents, some that you probably created, but most of them are coming from that. Because our parents, when we're kids, are like gods. And they're the ones that are caretaking for us. And we live through that experience because we need them. Right? So we take on a lot. It really is like a generational thing that gets passed down. There's some traits that are generational from your mother, from your grandmother, from your great-grandmother, and so on and so forth, that are very deep, but can still have the possibility to be changed. But those are passed down. It's like in your blood. But it's also not just in your blood. It's also because each parent has embodied that. And up to this point till now, until you realize this ends here. But that energy will be the leading force in your life, and you will be recreating the same situations and circumstances, maybe a little bit differently, but with the same energy and frequency of that one specific area of that shadow. So if we don't understand that, we're just operating from that. We're just operating from that shadow and just going along the world and thinking this is why we're and feeling disempowered because of that. The other thing that can happen is that we also create certain negative attachment styles to how we receive and give love, right? Because they are adapted from our parents and from how they showed up with us and how they showed up within each other. And how secure we actually feel with love. So we're walking around, right? Feeling like this, feeling all these things, feeling these disempowered feelings with love and relationship because of what happened way back then from our parents. Because we inherited things and they shared with us what love looks like and how love is received and how love is given from both the masculine and the feminine to us, but also within each other, right? So then we're just walking around. Remember, these are all unconscious. This is all unconscious. So we're just reflecting that. We're just mirroring that in our life. Okay? And as I just mentioned, we tend to repeat in our own ways similar patterns to our parents in perhaps either the same exact way or the same energy, but just in a different subject, or it just kind of manifests a little bit differently, right? I remember that my mother would always tell me, she's like, wow, when I was with my ex-fiance, she's like, you guys are, every time I hear you talk about the relationship, when I would come to her upset about it, she's like, it sounds so much. It's like a mirror of mine and my ex-husband's, my stepfather. And she would be like, oh my God. And he would say the same thing because I still had a relationship with my stepfather, ex-stepfather, but still call him stepfather. So we're walking around feeling and receiving love that was given us from our childhood. Some of them which felt good, some of it which didn't feel good, but that still didn't feeling good is what we constantly are searching for as we grow up. And what we're searching for that, and we either overcompensate for that and go to the other extreme, or we repeat the same exact energy that we did not receive. So if you felt like your father didn't have leadership, you're going to look for a man that takes control because you don't trust yourself and you don't trust, well, first of all, that is reflected within you, but you're going to really want to attract a man that's really takes control because you think that's what's going to bring you safety, when really what you need is the safety within yourself. That's an energy that you have to learn to adapt within you that you lacked with your father figure. Feel me? So the way that we give and receive, the way that we saw love, and the certain situations that happened that required us, that made us feel like we needed to be anxiously attached to love or avoidant with it because it was too painful once things got difficult. So either retreat or we overattach. And we're just walking around trying to find something that will actually reflect that same thing. And same thing with other areas, right? So you are in like these disempowering loops, these disempowering cycles that began way back then. Didn't just begin now, even though it may feel like I was fine in relationships and it's just this relationship with this man that I feel like, I don't know, it's just a horrible cycle that I keep repeating with him. It has nothing to do with just now. It absolutely has to do with way back when. Okay. So we're stuck in these inner cycles, and no matter how much work you have done, okay, you can feel still stuck as fuck, which is, I remember my mentor at the time said that. She's like, you're stuck as fuck. I'm like, yes, that's exactly how I feel. I feel stuck as fuck because I had done so much inner work, but I was still stuck in the same cycles with my ex, with my relationship. We could not break. I felt like I didn't have the power to break or to do whatever it is that I needed to do to stop the fighting. We would fight every week, and I constantly felt not good enough in that relationship. So I was constantly trying to prove myself, bending over backwards. I was in this cycle of always trying to prove myself. No matter how much I did inner work and how much I did come out better, there was always something else. I was always stuck in this cycle with my career, but couldn't get past a certain point. And just always feeling disempowered around people. I felt like I just didn't belong in that space. I didn't feel like I belonged. I felt very unworthy around people with money, and I felt like almost unworthy to receive money as well. I didn't feel good enough. I needed to be perfect in order to receive money. And the same thing with my body. I felt very disempowered. My body is really stuck in these cycles of my body is not good enough, and only if my body was better, then would the clients come, right? I needed to have the flat stomach. And then if I had the flat stomach, but now I need a bigger butt. If I just had like very low body fat percent, then the clients would come. And, then I would go down into these really negative cycles in my mind. Okay. Because all of this happens in your mind. The decisions that you make to move start in your mind. The downward spirals of these cycles start in your mind. The fear of whatever's going to happen starts in your mind. It doesn't start with your body, it starts in your head. Right? So it feels like you're constantly in your head when you're in a disempowered place. You're stuck in here and you're not living within here. It's all up here and you're embodying chaos. Right? So I know those feelings very well when you just feel like you're in this situation where you can't. It feels like you can't move past it. And sometimes the only way that you think that you know that will work if you just leave the situation. If I just leave the situation, then I can just start over fresh and start over new. And guess what? The same shit keeps happening because you cannot escape your problems because your problems are in here. It's in here. And this is what needs to change, your thought processing, right? So we've addressed you're disempowered. You're in this space here. You want to be there. You're here, but you want to be there. You're here in this place of not satisfied in your relationships. You feel maybe powerless in your relationship. You feel like, why isn't this relationship working? We've done so much work together. We tried really hard. Why isn't it working? I feel stuck. I really want this to work, but I don't know how much longer I can take this. And just like, your career and your finances, I don't know if I have what it takes to really break through. I feel like I can't make any money. I start strong each month and then I just finish, or I have relationships with people at work that I don't get along with and I'm really unhappy there and I feel like I can't change my circumstances. My body is not good enough. Why can't I just have a flat stomach and a big ass, like all these like freaking Instagram girls that I see, and if I just had the perfect body, then life would be better. You want to be here, empowered. I can break this. I can stand in my power in this relationship. I can stand in my truth. I can move forward in my truth, and I know everything will be okay. And I know what is meant for me will stay for me, and what's not meant for me will go. I have the courage to start making the moves in my career so that I can, ask for that raise, or, start showing up, putting myself out there so that I can attract clients and I'm just really gonna just share my knowledge, and just from that place I know that they're gonna come, and I know I have the strength to ask my boss for a raise because it's long overdue and it's well deserved. And if this is not for me, then I know that there's something better for me, and I know I can move forward in that direction. I am enough as I am, and I don't need to be bending over backwards for someone. I'm gonna start living my truth and living who I am, and see what is here for me to stand for who I really am and what's not, and I can handle this. And I know my life is going to transform. My body is the vessel that I live in, and I am going to be the woman that feels good in her body. And I'm not going to demand perfection of my body. I'm going to respect and love my body. Because I have myself to live with for the rest of my life. And this is the one relationship that I really need to have solid. Empowered. I'm going to create the relationship that I desire. I'm going to create the career that I desire. I'm going to create the body that I desire with love. And I know that every day I'm going to show up with my best. And I can get through this. And I'm going to have what I desire. I'm going to have that loving relationship. I'm going to have that career that lights my ass up on fire every day from a really good place. It really excites me. And I'm going to have a body that feels so good. And I look in the mirror and I'm like, God, I love my body so much. Empowered. You're here, disempowered. You want this. Just imagine there was a bridge from here to there. So you're here and there's a bridge, boop. that goes there. Okay? And that bridge is everything that you need to undo and everything that you need to relearn and remember again. I made a post today and I was just thinking about this because I'm thinking about the transmission. I knew it was going to come today, and it said, you know what's crazy? Is the woman that you want to become already lives inside of you. She's already there because you have that desire. And it's not, because what happens is not that all of a sudden a brand new version of you stands in front of you. It's not that. It's that version of you is already inside of you. She already, the woman who has the courage, that courage is within you already. The woman that can lead herself in her life, can take self-leadership and knows who she is, already lives inside of you. The woman that feels worthy enough, that feels worthy and feels enough to have a love that is healthy and secure, already lives within you. The woman who already has the income that she desires and has a career that she desires and has a relationship with her coworkers and with her family already lives within you. The woman who already has strong boundaries already lives within you. The woman who is brave lives within you. The woman who's deeply in tune with herself and with her intuition and with her higher self and with her spirit guides already lives within you. It's not something that's outside of you. It's within you. And that is that bridge that you're discovering. You're here. This is where you want to be. There, disempowered, empowered, and there, and that is the bridge. It's like you're remembering who you are. You're remembering this empowered version of yourself. But what happens is there's a sifting and sorting, and that's what happens when you walk that bridge. When you walk that bridge is an undoing of certain programming that has led you up to where you are now that no longer is working for you. That. You're at that place where you have that much awareness that it's not working for you and you need to start making moves. So let's get into the steps that what does this bridge involve? Because there's 3 steps. Okay. And here's the other thing about that bridge. That bridge is uncomfortable. Okay. It is uncomfortable because you're stepping into new territory that you haven't before. You're stepping into a new territory that you haven't before. You're going to be doing things that you haven't done before. You're going to be pushing your edges. That's the walk of that bridge, and that's okay. And that is okay for you to feel like that. It's part of the process. This is how you start creating, number 1, trust within yourself. You start, because you know that you can handle, because you're going to hold yourself through it, and you're going to realize how strong you really are. So you're going to be gaining that inner strength. You're going to be gaining more faith in yourself. You're going to be gaining faith in the universe and how everything responds to you. And you're going to love yourself so much more because you actually started to move in the direction of what your heart has been deeply desiring. And that's okay that it feels uncomfortable. It's part of the process. It really is part of the process. And the sooner you accept that, the sooner that you'll move. And you just understand, okay, this is part of it. And you have the power. You are in, I am going to use the word control here. You do have control to say, I'm just going to explore just a little bit here. Because you know yourself, and you have enough trust within yourself, and you know yourself because you lived this many years up to now, how much you can really push to your edges. Okay, we don't want you to just fall off that cliff or fall off that bridge. Okay, we don't want that. We want you to just take one step at a time. Right foot, left foot, repeat. Okay, and it's okay that it feels uncomfortable. You just right foot, left foot, pause maybe, take a beat. Okay, right foot, left foot. Okay, I can do a right again. Okay, I can do left. Wow, okay, I can hold so much more. I can move a little bit more. And okay, now I need to take a little bit of a break. And that's okay. That's part of the process to becoming empowered. You're going to have to feel certain things. You're going to have to step into the unknown. And that's okay. It's part of it. But on the other side of that is that liberation, is that freedom, is that woman that already lives within you that's ready to be shine. So step number 1 on this bridge is awareness. And what awareness means and what awareness is bringing the unconscious conscious. It's bringing the unconscious conscious. That's what awareness is. Because sometimes you know, but you don't really know until you really like look at it. You know what I mean? Like we can have, you know, like, oh, I know I'm reactive, but then once you really look at the reactivity, about like that moment that it begins to boil in your skin, that is when you're like, oh, now I know. You know what I mean? My daddy's watching. Hi, daddy. Right? There's that moment when you are saying like, okay, I'm going to become aware. I'm really going to pay attention. I'm going to really step outside of myself, and I'm really going to notice when that moment that I start to like freak, like let's say if you're like reactive or whatever it is, or you become anxious, or you become avoidant, or you become nervous, like you become scared, when you actually place your attention and you make the conscious intention of like, okay, I'm going to start to notice when I become this thing that I no longer want to be, is when you become aware and you're bringing the unconscious conscious. And in that moment is when you need to say, oh, here it is right now. Okay, what's happening right now in this moment? Because you have never done that before. Up until this point, you've just been reacting. You've just been going off of these shadows. You've just been going off of what you've been doing your entire life that has led you to where you are now. It's almost like a part of you, and it just happens. But until you make that conscious decision of like, I'm really going to bring present moment awareness to this, every single little thing that I do, especially this disempowering behavior that I no longer, it's not serving me in my life. It's causing me stress. It's causing anxiety. It's causing me not to move forward to the person that I want to be. It's not moving me forward to the relationships that I want to have, to the finances that I want to have, to the career that I want to have, to the body that I want to have. I need to see where is that moment where my skin starts to boil, or where I just start to feel physically uncomfortable. I start to feel a physical sensation. That is awareness. That is bringing the unconscious conscious, because now you know. What did that person say? What did that person say that made you feel a certain way that now you feel you need to do that disempowering behavior? That then leads to that disempowering cycle, because then they react a certain way, and then you react a certain way, and then they react a certain way, and then you're just in this loop. And then you do what you finally do to make that go away, because there's always something that you do to make that feeling go away. Or you try to make it go away, but really it's still present in your energetic field. And once you make that decision of, ooh, it's there, I see it, I feel it, I see my thoughts, then you have to ask, what am I feeling right now? What am I feeling? Because there's emotion attached to it. Like, what exactly am I thinking, right? Right when that moment happens, what am I thinking? What are my thoughts in the exact moment? What am I feeling? And the first time you do this, it can be almost like you don't know how to describe it. But it could be a sensation. You're like, I don't know how to really describe this sensation. So you can maybe go to your thoughts, then you can go to your feelings. It might take time. Might say this feels uncomfortable, or it feels like my skin's boiling. And then if you start digging deeper, then you will discover and you will find the words, or you can have people that can help you discover those words. Like, I always have, because I've done this work with Ron and I, with my man, like he will describe something and then I'll put a word to it. He's like, yeah, that's exactly it. Because he's also learning how to really get in touch with exactly what he's feeling to be more empowered. And I have experience with that, so I know words. So you may have to have people, or you may have to look up a dictionary or something to help you describe, to put words to what you're feeling. And in that moment, those feelings may bring up some stuff. It may bring up some stuff, let me tell you. You may remember something that happened to you, a traumatic event, a memory from childhood, a memory from a partner that did something to you, a memory from your father, your mother. Something will happen that feeling can be attached to a memory, which then can bring up more emotions. This is okay. This is normal. This is part of the becoming empowered, which I know it may not feel like it, but this is part of it. This is where step 2 comes in, which is the shadow work. The shadow work is recognizing that part of you that is feeling all these feelings, less than, not good enough, not worthy, anxious, I don't know what's going to happen, I need to retreat, I don't like this feeling, I need to numb out, I'm really scared, I don't know, I can't do this, my hands are shaking, whatever it is that you're feeling, fear, whatever. This is the next step, and this is the most crucial step, because your awareness is just a logical part of it, and there's a lot of shifts that can happen when you have awareness, especially when you get deeper into this work. A simple affirmation sometimes can really just let it go. But then the next deep step, which is huge, is the feeling part, is the shadow work of allowing those emotions to come up, giving those emotions a voice and a word. This is all your inner child shit. Shadow work is your wounded inner child that needs love, that needs affection, that wants to say, I know you feel like this, but like, I got you. I'm here for you. We're going to get through this. We're going to walk together with this. This is the most crucial part, because shadow work is body work. It's areas that have been, how do I explain this? It's areas where certain emotions, which are sensations, have been trapped. And the only way to untrap them is to feel them. Like, the key to open that door of the cage is to actually feel whatever it is that you're feeling. It's the only way. Or else you're just going to keep shoving those emotions and those and emotions down. Right? So emotions is a visceral experience. It's a physical experience. It's not something you can actually touch, but it is something that you feel, which is why this part of the process is the most crucial part, because if you can imagine it, this is how I imagine it, and I think this would be the best way to explain it so you can understand the importance of it. So let's say your whole body or your whole energetic field has cars that are parked there. Some of these cars are awesome. They're Ferraris, they're Lamborghinis, they're Escalades, they're Lincolns, they're whatever, all your dream cars. And then other cars are Bobo cars. They're lemon cars, they're Bobo. They belong in the car landmine. But the only way to get that car to come out of that spot so that there's space to be created here for your awesome dream cars to pull in, you need to feel all those feelings that car, that garbage car, that Bobo car, that lemon car is feeling, is expressing, it wants you to express. That's the only way you can clear up that parking spot. It's the only way. This is why shadow work is so important, because with just, and why thinking can only get you so far. And liberation happens through your body. Freedom happens through your body. It's something that you have to feel and experience. Have to release that. It's the only way. And it's okay, because your emotions are your most, it's your best ally. Your emotions are your friends. Your emotions going to guide you to where there needs to be healing. It's guiding to you when something doesn't feel right when you're in a situation. It guides you when your partner is not treating you right and you don't feel good. Your emotions are your ally. So we can't stuff them down, because then where is your compass? Where is your compass to guide you to what feels good? Part of that is acknowledging and feeling the darkness. It's feeling all the reasons why you feel disempowered. But the key is without judgment. That is the key. If you go into this work judging yourself, you will only go deeper into that rabbit hole of the shadow. It has to come without judgment. It has to be nurturing yourself like a mother would nurture your child. That's what a big chunk of shadow work is. So this is the second step. Whatever is coming up as you are having these awarenesses now, because you're being hyper vigilant in a non-judgmental way, in a way of, I really need to observe all of my actions because they've led me to where I am now, and I need to I desire to break past that. So you're becoming hyper aware in a non-judgmental way. With that awareness is going to bring all of this stuff, a lot of inner child stuff, a lot of things that have happened to you in your past that need to be cleansed and released, so that there is space for that woman you want to be. That woman that is already in you, that she wants to come out and shine. Awareness, shadow work, and the next step, as you've cleared all this, is embodiment work. Embodiment work. Now this is where I feel was a huge missing piece in my life from all the inner work that I've done. Because all the inner work that I've done has been healing my father wounds, healing my mother wounds, healing anger that I've had, having tools to have an outlet to clear space and to feel more whole, to feel peace, to feel like true happiness within. I studied A Course in Miracles for a very, very long time, which really helped to ease my nervous system and really made me feel more unity consciousness. However, I had never done, none of the people that I've worked with, and it's not wrong, it's not their fault, it's just wasn't part of their modalities, wasn't embodiment work. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap this up because it's 5:00 and my mom's gonna pick me up at 5:30. So I'm gonna wrap this up. Embodiment work. Embodiment work is, who is the woman that I see in relationships, who I see in my career, who I see with my body? How does she hold herself? How does she carry herself? Getting very, very, very clear on who this woman is, and even writing about her. This woman is this, and then you can make them I statements, or you can make them she is this, she is that, and she is a woman that lives within you. And seeing this version, writing it down. As a matter of fact, let me see, right over there, this are papers of some intentions that I have, and also the woman that holds a 6-figure business. I'm going to put it out there. I'm not going to be shy, because I feel like I am her. I am her. She's in me. She's here. So she's here, right? Kind of going back to when you start to feel certain things and you're describing well, what is it? What is a feeling that I'm feeling? When I tap into it, I wrote, I think it's 7 on there, 7 traits, character traits, 7 ways of being that she embodies. And I wrote them all down. I wrote what each one of them are. And every morning I connect to her. Every morning I connect to this woman that already is here. And this work, everything that I'm telling you, this was one of the big missing keys, because I knew about shadow work. And I say like this because I've dabbled into it, but I didn't get as serious to when I became a woman that is empowered. I knew about like becoming aware, but not this hyper vigilant aware. But the embodiment piece, my God, that was such a huge missing piece, because it didn't really give direction of my mind of where to go. It didn't really give my brain and my essence something to be like, this is who we are now. It's like identity work. Embodiment work is identity work. Like, this is who I am now. This is who I'm becoming. This is who I am. And on that bridge, like, this is who I am. This is who I'm becoming. This is who I'm letting go. You all of a sudden you land here, and you're there, and you're attracting the relationship that you desire. Either your relationship transforms to be in the relationship that you've always desired. Because as you changed, your partner is going to grow or go. That's the honest truth, and that's okay. And if he's ready, he will grow with you. And if you guys were just a season, he will go. And when he goes, it'll be from a place when you were ready to let it go. Right? So you're letting all of that go. You're having the relationship that you want. You have the career that you want. You have the relationship with your body that you want. Like, this is there. This is empowered. This is when you do the embodiment work. This is when you land here. Awareness and shadow work are huge, and they're big steps because that clears the space. But the embodiment, that is when you claim, I am this. This is who I am now. I am this empowered woman. And that empowered woman has certain traits for you that are very specific for you. Okay. Woo! This live was so much better. It was so much better. I'm very excited. I'm very proud of myself for doing this. I showed up on the first one, and I gave it what I had. And then as soon as I was done, God, that felt so good to be like, I know I can do better. And I love sharing that energy with you, because it's just an exact example of what I'm teaching you. Because I've already done a lot of awareness and shadow work when it comes to my lives. And then now is when I was like, I'm embodying something different. And once I did that is when this immediate shift happened within a split second. As soon as I got off, I knew, I had the confidence. I'm confident in my work. That's one of the embodiments of the six-figure businesswoman for me. I'm confident in my work. I was like, yeah, because I'm confident. I know I can do better. And here I am now, doing better. Beautiful example. So this is what we're going to be doing inside of Rebuild. I'm going to do a little quick recap of Rebuild, and then you can message me Rebuild. Just send me a DM saying Rebuild, and we'll start a conversation. Rebuild is a one-on-one coaching container. It is all about breaking disempowering cycles and embodying and becoming the woman that can create the life and the relationship that she desires, because that's what an empowered woman does. So we're going to lead you into that empowered woman that is going to be very unique to you and what she represents, because you are you and your soul already knows that woman already lives inside of you. We are going to just be peeling back the layers and calling her forward and moving in that direction. So it's 6 weeks. This is really for the woman also who is ready to do the work. You have to be really ready to let go of the past, to let go of the behaviors and things and situations that are not serving you, to step into something new. So if you're ready, you know who you are. If you're not, that's okay. I have other programs coming out that are maybe for you, or there's another mentor for you. And then when you're ready, you can come to me. I've also decided that I love long-term containers. I absolutely love them. I've been with coaches for like 2 years, and that has absolutely changed my life. So with Rebuild, you can have a 6-week option, but I'm also going to open it up to an 18-week and a 24-week option. For the women who really want a longer term commitment, you can start with 6 weeks. And if you're like, oh my God, yes, I want more, we can go ahead and upgrade you to the longer commitment. So, but yeah, Rebuild was originally a 6-week, but I'm going to expand it into even longer, so you can really like just continue to deepen the embodiment and continue to let go of what's not serving you and move fast with a coach. That's what a coach does. Because I've been there, I can hold you through it. I can work with you through all of the disempowering beliefs and cycles that you have right now when it comes to your relationships, especially your relationships, and just anything else that's blocking you. So if you're interested in Rebuild, send me a message. Right now it is $999 for the 6-week option for paid in full. I also have 2 payment plans. If you're interested in the longer containers, we can absolutely talk about that. And this price point is only available for the first 6 women. So if you are interested in that, please reach out to me, because after the 6th week is going to be either $1,200 to $1,500. So you're going to be saving between $200 to $500 right now. That's fucking awesome. So there are 2 month payment plans available as well. And then there's also the longer container commitment if you want that, or if you just want to go through the first 6 weeks and then upgrade. Or you can just say, I am all in. In both of those, there is going to be a special rate as well for the first 6 women. Okay? So thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this live. Please let me know what your biggest takeaways were. Let me know where you are on this bridge. Are you on the awareness? Are you on the shadow work? Are you on the embodiment work? Or where you're like, damn, this whole thing blew my mind. Like, I need all of this shit. Let me know, where are you in your relationships? Where are you? What are the disempowering cycles that you have right now? Let's talk about it. Comment here on this live stream and we'll have a conversation, and I'll let you know where it is that you probably need to focus, where you're at on the awareness, shadow, and embodiment. Okay? My little gift to you. So I love you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to go put some light makeup on and have a good time with my mom. All right? Bye.